Well, it's been about 2 years since we posted the video of the sheet metal brake. It's easily my most popular video. There's one frequent question I get asked that I've been wanting to just do a little follow-up and answer for folks. So I figured it'd be a good morning to get this thing rolled out, maybe clean her up, do a little follow-up video with it. Let's get started. Get my Michael Jackson glove off here. Now, I'd say for 2 years of use in the shop, she cleans up pretty good. I'm not going to spend a lot of time cleaning it, just kind of wanted to show real quick. I've chipped a lot of paint off of it. Down here I noticed we got a lot of black overspray on it. Probably from me painting parts for the travel and other stuff. But I did zero prep work on that really whenever I painted it. It was a quick scuff and spray with some tractor paint they can mix up at O'Reilly's. And overall for being used, it's holding up pretty good, I'd say. So I had to get this thing shined up pretty good. Mainly for the people in the last video who said I spent entirely too much time worried about what this thing looked like versus how it performs. Y'all would not believe the amount of engineers who have free time to just go around and break down other people's work on YouTube. It's crazy. So to all you lead engineers, I would suggest you take your high-paying job as an engineer, a little bit of the good money you spend, and maybe not buy the newest iPhone 17 before it comes out, and buy a sheet metal brake that's better quality than Harbor Freight. Okay, I'm not trying to talk crap. This could go back and forth all day. I'm not trying to cause that. I really don't care if people like it or not. I like how my shop looks. I wanted this thing to look cool in here, and I think it looks cool. We did overcomplicate some of the things, like a little step bar down there, but hey, it's cool. So now let's talk about the number one thing I get asked on this that I should have covered in the last video. So before I answer that question, actually, I kind of half wish I wouldn't have threw that jab at the engineer or whatever comment, because I know people can just talk crap back, and I'm not really here to talk crap. What I want people to understand is it don't matter if you have a $20,000 sheet metal brake or if you get one for $100 and you upgrade it. If it accomplishes the job that you need it to do, then it's the right tool for you. Of course, there's a million better options out there on the market than this thing, but if you look at Grizzly, Bailey, Woodward Fab, all those guys, their lowest sheet metal brake is pretty much this exact same thing. Pull up the pictures of them, look them side by side. You're going to pay $500 for theirs, still need to upgrade it, and it's still not going to be as good as some of the sheet metal brakes that are thousands of dollars that people are trying to compare this damn thing to. If you follow my channel, you have seen me use it a lot the last 2 years, which is why I've waited 2 years to do this follow-up video, so I can say it has 2 years of work on it. You've seen me build tons of stuff for the shoebox, you've seen me build tons of stuff for the travel, and it has worked great for me. So like I said, if it accomplishes the job that you need it to do, it's a good tool for you, and I don't want you to be discouraged by some of the negative comments on the other video where people are saying, you know, just talking crap on it. I've heard enough crap talk with as long as I've been on YouTube, and it don't bother me because y'all see how much work I get done. So number one question I get asked that I should have answered, my lower leaf attachment right here. What did I make it out of? How's it attached? I didn't address any of that, so let me show you. Now that's how you scratch the paint. So So my lower leaf attachment, 2-inch angle iron, 1/8 inch thick. It's all I had. If I had 1/4 inch, I definitely would have put 1/4 on there. Since I didn't, what I did was I cut some of those little gussets in there you see. Those are 1/4 inch. There's one there, there, and there. And of course the other end. So there's 1/4 inch gussets throughout there. And then I just enclosed the front with a piece of 18 gauge sheet metal. Obviously added the dimple dies to be able to match the little bottom stepper bar, but that's also where your bolt holes are. So that gives you access to be able to bolting this thing on and off. Then down here on the lower leaf, I just drilled and tapped it for some 5/16 -18, just what I had at the time. And you definitely want this thing to be able to bolt on and off, because there are times you need to use it just like this. And then there's other times if you're doing bigger pieces, it's really nice to be able to attach that. So don't weld it on. You definitely want that thing to bolt on and off. And just like that, we're ready to rock again. Besides not having the content I wanted to get out of the Travelall, one of the other reasons I wanted to go ahead and make this video was because with this thing, we have a really good example of what I primarily use this thing for. A lot of smaller stuff. It makes it nice and easy. So on this, you can see there's a break back here. There's a break there, there. Now this one up here, that's actually a welded seam right there. But then up here, and then even these little brackets. So I did all of this on this break yesterday. And this is gonna be the overhead little console thing for the Travelall. It's got all the rear heat and air stuff, and obviously a couple little lights in it. But doing little projects like this is a breeze. Now I understand there's smaller versions you could do, or you could get of a sheet metal brake if you're only doing smaller stuff. But I still stand by this is a great brake for a hobbyist. I would even say in a decent little full-time shop for your smaller stuff. I think you could argue this is still a good little brake for that. You have seen me do, so besides doing tons of little stuff like this, some of the bigger things, the radiator cover in the Travelall and in my truck, actually I broke the edge on both of them, and they're probably pushing, they're over 2 feet long, I think. The toolbox lids for my Travelall, they're 20 inches long or so, 18 gauge, and breaking the edge of them down. The seat pans inside the Travelall, where I enclosed the seat frame with sheet metal, I broke the top edges of them where they kind of snug into place, and it did great on them. On top of numerous things, I'd have to go through all my projects and just see everything that we've done with it. So I still say for the money, it's a good brake for doing a little bit of everything. So now we're gonna do some test pieces, and I haven't actually tuned on this thing in forever, so we may mess with it some. But probably the number 2 question I get asked about this thing is, will it do a certain gauge at a certain length? Well guys, I simply can't answer that question because I don't have all the different thicknesses of gauge that you want to see tested in the lengths y'all want to see tested. From the start, I said I'm going to use this thing for sheet metal, and for me, I don't do thicker than 18 gauge. All the stuff I do with the cars and I'm building is 18 gauge. If I've had to do anything thicker, like the battery box or a little battery tray I did in the Travelall, I want to say it was like 14 gauge, but the lip where I needed to break it, I left like 2 inches of material on each side, and I cut a relief cut in the middle and just bent it up. So I'm working with stuff like that. If I'm working with stuff like that, I'm making it where it's an easier job on this with that relief cut, and I just think it kind of looks better like that. But besides the sheet metal, I may do some straps sometimes. I know I've done 2-inch strap in this, that's 1/8 inch thick, but if I start getting much bigger than that, I have my little press brake over there that I can do up to 3/8 3-inch wide strap in. So I'm not gonna sit there and strain this thing when I have that over there. But we'll still cut a couple little pieces real quick and do a little bit, do a little demonstration on this, I guess. So up first, and I have absolutely zero expectation out of this to go good. This is 1/8 inch thick. Actually, I think it's 11 gauge and 3-inch wide. I mean, actually that did a pretty good job. That right there is my press brake. I didn't mean to make that so symmetrical, but I'm actually pretty impressed with that. I didn't know how it'd do on some 3-inch wide stuff. So I'd say it'd be safe for you to do that with too. Piece of 18 gauge. And we'll just see how she does. So, a little rounded, not super sharp, but for doing like I said, like a rocker or something, that right there's good. You're not coming to a sharp ass point. So that's pretty well the full length of this thing. I don't know how close this camera picks that up. Gotta see if I can sharpen it up a little bit. Now this panel does have a little crown to it. This is a door patch for a shoebox that I just cut down to do this. But I'm gonna kind of tighten this thing up a little bit and we'll do another one. Give her the old crooked handle. That was the first time I've really made any adjustments on this thing since the first time I've used it. Really just tightening everything up here. And we definitely just crisped up that edge. So here's the first piece, and I don't know how well this is really gonna pick up, but you can see how much sharper that is, at least in person. I hope it picks it up on the video. That's a pretty rounded one. This one's pretty sharp. Now again, it's not the best. It is straight. It's a little less in the middle, probably from about right there to about right there. And you could sharpen that up with just a little bit of hammer and dolly work if you were worried about it. But that's a decent size piece right there. Unless you were just creating like something like a rocker where you're creating the edge of a permanent gap, you probably wouldn't even have to worry about tightening that up any. If you're building some kind of panel that's going in your trunk, or some kind of gust or support or something, I'll be honest, I wouldn't even mess with that. I'd send it. Get on out here. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't seen the video where we upgrade this thing, it is one of my videos whenever I was newer to YouTube. Quality's not that great, but maybe still check it out if you're interested in upgrading yours. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you guys watching. If you always come back, I appreciate you guys watching. Channel's still slowly growing, so everything you guys do to help me grow, I really appreciate it. If you want to help me out, all you gotta do is drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe. All those things help me. So, like I said, I just appreciate it when you guys do that stuff. If you're on Instagram, I'm on there at Puddin's Fab Shop. And I will see you guys next time. But don't forget, sitting on your ass won't finish your project. Now I gotta put this thing back in her old hidey hole. That's my daughter's toolbox, by the way. And if you ask her, this is her travel log. Y'all have a good day now.